Where are
The
the
Military
others?
Academy of
Speak
Vexile
now.
Station was the most prestigious training ground in the Dominion.
Go to
Cadets from
hell.
40 different species competed for positions in the elite command force. Most took years to graduate. Most never made it past the first evaluation. Captain Resvor of the Krell had made it his personal mission to ensure humanity never got a foothold in military leadership. When the first human cadet arrived at his academy, the captain saw an opportunity to prove what everyone already knew: humans were physically inferior, emotionally unstable, and completely unsuitable for combat leadership. Her name was Maya. She was 5 feet 8 inches tall, with dark hair pulled back in a military bun and eyes that held an unsettling calmness. While other cadets looked nervous during their first evaluation, Maya looked like she was already calculating angles. "Cadet," Captain Resvor announced, his 4 Krell arms crossed over his massive chest, "you will participate in a restraint demonstration. We will bind you with reinforced titanium chains, the same chains used to restrain dangerous predators across the Dominion. If you can escape within 10 minutes, you will pass this evaluation. If not, you will be dismissed from the academy and sent back to your primitive world." The assembled cadets gasped. No one had ever been given this test. It was designed specifically for Maya, designed specifically to humiliate her, designed specifically to prove that humans didn't belong in military service. Maya said nothing. She simply walked to the center of the training grounds and allowed the technicians to wrap her with heavy titanium chains. The chains were reinforced with electromagnetic locks, technology that had been refined over millennia. They had bound creatures with 4 times her strength and twice her limb count. Captain Resvor stood beside her, his compound eyes gleaming with barely concealed satisfaction. "Begin," he announced. Maya took a deep breath and analyzed her situation with the precision of a trained strategist. The chains were designed to restrain creatures that relied on brute strength. They were designed by engineers who had never studied human biomechanics, who had never understood that humans possessed something far more valuable than strength: leverage, knowledge of anatomy, and the ability to contort their bodies in ways that seemed impossible. She began by studying the chain configuration. The electromagnetic locks required a specific frequency to deactivate. But they also had a mechanical backup, a weakness that most species never exploited because they never had the flexibility to reach it. Maya twisted her body with movements that made the watching cadets wince. She dislocated her shoulder, a painful maneuver that humans had learned to perform intentionally thousands of years ago on her primitive world. Her arm, now freed from the joint, could move in directions that the chains couldn't restrict. 3 seconds had passed. She reached the first lock with her dislocated arm and manually triggered the mechanical backup. The chain fell away. Before Captain Resvor could react, Maya reset her shoulder, another practiced motion that involved a sharp intake of breath but no hesitation, and began working on the second chain. 5 seconds. The captain's expression shifted from satisfaction to concern. "You're doing something against regulations," he growled. "Self-mutilation is." "Not against regulations for combat training," Maya interrupted, not even looking at him. She was focused entirely on the chains. "My species has been practicing controlled dislocation for survival purposes for over 30,000 years. It's neither mutilation nor breaking protocol." She freed herself from the third chain. 7 seconds. Captain Resvor moved toward her, his massive frame casting a shadow across the training ground. He had decided that this demonstration had gone far enough. He would simply disqualify her, remove her from the academy, prove that humans were incapable of meeting Dominion standards. What he didn't anticipate was that Maya was already free. The final chain fell away at the 8-second mark. Without hesitation, without calculation, moving purely on instinct and training, Maya pivoted and drove her elbow directly into the captain's solar plexus. The impact was delivered with the precision of someone who understood that force times the correct angle equals devastation. Captain Resvor collapsed to his knees, the wind knocked from his lungs. His massive Krell body gasped for air, his 4 arms hanging useless at his sides. He had been struck by a creature 1/4 his weight, and the force had completely incapacitated him. 9 seconds had elapsed since Maya had begun her escape. She stood over the captain, not with triumph or malice, but with the calm certainty of someone who had just demonstrated a simple fact: never underestimate a species that survived on a predator world. 10 seconds, the timing system announced. The academy fell silent. Cadets from every species stared in shock. The captain of their academy was on his knees, defeated by a human cadet who had just proven something that would echo across the Dominion military command structure: humans didn't survive through strength. They survived through intelligence, adaptation, and the absolute refusal to accept defeat. Captain Resvor slowly pushed himself to his feet, his breath coming in ragged gasps. As he looked at Maya, something shifted in his eyes. Not respect, not yet, but the beginning of understanding. "You will graduate," he said finally, his voice hoarse. "And you will lead the next generation of Dominion commanders." Maya saluted with the crisp precision of a trained soldier. As she walked from the training grounds, the other cadets parted to let her pass. Word would spread through every military academy in the Dominion: the human cadet had broken the chains and her captain in 10 seconds. The message was clear: humanity didn't need centuries of evolutionary development. They needed only knowledge, will, and the understanding that every problem, no matter how difficult, could be solved through preparation and determination. And the Dominion military would never be the same. Kindly like and subscribe channel. Thank you.